Infinite Dendrogram, Episode 1. This looks like it'll be a good anime. It's basically an isekai set in a video game world. Um, so basically, our main character, Ray Starling, he gets this new headset and he signs into Ultimate Dendrogram. And so when he first gets there, he meets the Cheshire Cat, the lucky cats in Japan. And the Cheshire Cat is basically the AI that walks him through the character creation, and he makes his character pretty much exactly like he is, except he colors his hair blonde and stuff. And so we get introduced to these four classes: the arms, the tank, the chariot, and the shield. I believe and all that you can have, and he gets something called an embryo, like a power, a creature, a guide, and the embryo can turn into one of those classes. So it'll activate after a certain number of stuff that he does based on how he plays and based on his personality. So he spends some time um he spends some time thinking about where he wants to go, and he chooses the kingdom of Avalon. So he clicks on the map, and he literally gets sucked into it, and he's literally falling from the ground, and it's like and then he hits the ground, and he's right outside the capital city. Now, what's interesting is he's on his way to see his brother, because his brother is a veteran player that's been playing for since the game came out, and so his brother, um, his, his brother said, "Meet me by the fountain." So he's got his map up, and he's not paying attention, and boom, this girl dressed in armor called Alicia, I believe, bumps into him, and literally it's like broken bone, broken ribs, almost down to a few HP, and it's like so funny. And she heals him with some healing magic, and she's like, "Have you seen my sister? Have you seen my sister?" He's like, "No." Well, she wrote down something. If you see her, then please contact me. And then she runs off in another direction. What's interesting though is when he's looking at it and he's reading it, it said quest generated. The whole time that she was talking to him, he had no idea she was an NPC. That's how realistic the NPCs are. They literally have their own thoughts. It's like they're real inside the game world. Which just, as a nerd, gets me super excited. Like, I can't wait for us to have games like that where the NPCs can think just like the players are actually real inside their world, you know. But anyway, enough gushing of that. He makes it to the fountain, and lo and behold, like big brothers do, he embarrasses his little brother by being dressed in a bear suit, holding up a sign that says, "Hey, little bro," and all these little kids are around him and clapping all over him like he's one of those um mascots at like a discount theme park or something. And so he goes up to him and he whispers, "Hey, bear, are you my brother?" And he's like, "Yes, very much, bear." And that basically sets the whole stage for their sort of relationship for the whole anime, where the brother will use bear puns to annoy the to annoy the younger brother. And so um and, and so the bear brother gives the little kids candy. They go off, they say bye bye, and basically the older brother explains to the younger brother that, whoa, you got you got a quest from her. She's like the most famous NPC around. Even other NPCs and players, they just can't get enough of her. And it really goes to show you the level of detail, the fact that NPCs can form fan club around other NPCs and stuff. Like they literally have jobs and everything else and lives outside the family. And so it turns out that the quest that Ray got was a level 5 quest. Now you may be thinking, level 5? That doesn't sound like a big deal. Oh, it's a big deal. It's like you better have a full party. You better have um someone who's level 100 in your group. It is a serious quest. And so, he's the younger brother's trying to find why well, did she give you any details about the quest? And he's looking at the card and like, no. And literally, the older brother yanks it from him and then he turns it on the back and it's basically a note the from Alicia's sisters telling Alicia that she was going towards the old Valley's farm to get rim fruit to make a birthday cake for her sister's birthday, and it's like that just again shows you the realness because most time when you in a game it'll have quest started and it'll give you all the information right then and there. But and that just shows you he wasn't even thinking about is there anything on the back? Just little details like that. And he explains, we better go now um because there's a place where the little girl could have gotten the berries, but you have to pay for that. The place where she's going is monster infested and stuff, so we better hurry. And he's like, well, why should we hurry? And he simply says, if NPCs die in this world, they're dead for real. Again, realism. When a quest is generated, it doesn't wait around for you to complete it. So they get there to the farm. The brother gives his younger Ray all these healing things. Basically some scales of if you get hit, it'll keep you from dying, some health potions, and one what they call life saving brooch, which you put it on, and if you get hit and it like knocks your HP down to 0, like you're dead, it'll keep you from it'll negate all that, you know. And so they get there, and he's like, "Hey, what's the penalty for dying? Because sometimes when you die, you lose experience in games and what." And the brother said, "Oh, it's pretty simple. If you die in this game, then you basically can't log in for a whole 24 hours." And that in itself is mind-boggling because you're basically taking away the player's right to play, right to play, right to play. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Okay, it's the for it's like basically the game world is running on free time speed. So one basically 3 hours in the game world, which will pass like 3 hours. You'll feel it like it's been 3 hours. It's just 1 hour in our world. So one day is 3 days. So if you're in the middle of a quest like this, and boom, you're not there anymore, then those NPCs are dead, and that leaves a bad taste in his mouth. So then the they get in there, and his bear brother basically has his embryo, which is the costume and stuff, and he literally turns the costume into a machine gun and mows down all these bugs and stuff. They get to Alicia and her sister, and then we think, oh, the quest is good, and then all of a sudden these big like dragon worms, basically some giant centipedes come up, and the um and the brother tries to go like all Super Saiyan, and he gets swallowed up, and Alicia's like, I'll handle these guys. You take my sister and run and keep her safe. And then yeah, Ray's like, yeah, and then he goes, he's running, and then one of the centipedes chases after him, and that's when the little girl says, "Hey, I just wanted to do this for my sister," and and then um and then um basically the worm catches up to him, and she's like, and Ray's like, you got to run. I'm going out to kick um this monster's butt. So he so the little girl runs, and then um basically the monster attacks him. He's able to dodge the first strike, but then the monster's tail whips him and completely drains his health down to zero. But he had those shells, so he has, and this basically happens 3 more times, and he's like out of shells, and then the monster basically comes back to her. But the one thing is that when he was telling her to run, he gave her the life saving brooch on her. So just before he get to her, the monster hits. Um, the monster basically hits her and knocks her health down to zero. But then it just knocks her unconscious because she has the life saving brooch, and that's busted. And then he gets up to her, and here comes the monster, and he's like screaming at his embryo, just give me one chance. This world's supposed to be full of possibilities. We'll prove it, you know. And then right when he says that, his embryo glows and is removed, and it turns out to be the mating and arm type Nemesis, basically an anime made um that can transform into a big sword, and she's like, "Your wish is my command, master." And she basically transforms into this big sword. Is like, I gave you have now the probability of that 1% chance you asked for. Now it's up to you to hit the beast. And then he goes to strike the beast, and Nemesis is like, "I'm using my power. Vengeance is mine," and goes down, and the the dendrite is just split in two, and that's that for that monster. And then basically, um, they go out to safety, and then Alicia basically comes up and like thanks Ray for all his help, and then Nemesis is like a Cinderella, like, you should be thanking me and my master because we are so awesome, hooray! And then all of a sudden, out of the ground, his bear brother pops up, and it turns out that when he was swallowed, he basically went underneath, and there was a whole giant nest of those fangs, and the brother was just machine gunning him down. So yeah, it was, and they also get a rim fruit, and and they get and Ray gets like, oh, I won't forget this. So that's like foreshadowing, like he'll need um a favor from her soon. And then it turns out that Ray's brother bought all the Rimuru berries to basically make a banquet for Ray's first day here. And then it dawns on Ray, hey, all this is because of you. And that's really something because it shows that, hey, because of a player's action, this unique quest was activated. It wasn't just something written into the game. So this just seems like it'll be an awesome show. Um, After I get done doing this video, I'll be watching the second episode. So keep an eye out for that. And remember to like and comment on this video. And if you subscribe, type subscribed down in the comments to let me know that you have subscribed. It really boosts my motivation to turn out more content if you like this type of content. And also remember to, if you have a prayer request, to just put a general prayer request like you need help with school, or you need help at work or at home or just anywhere. I'd be glad to pray for you. The power of prayer is awesome. Um, Speaking of that, let's pray. Dear Lord, I thank you for this day, and I thank you for everything you give me, God. I pray that people will enjoy this and that it'll bring a smile to their face. I pray that you'll help our subscriber count grow, Lord, and that you'll be with all the people who request prayer requests, Lord, and that you'll forgive me for all my sins. And you pray, amen. Well, I enjoyed making this video. I hope y'all have. See y'all later.